A key concept in every single short story in Doctorow's novel Radicalized is the idea of oppression. Oppression between all sorts of different people, oppression of refugees and racial minorities and impoverished people and everyone in society. But what ties them together is this concept that every single person who is being oppressed is a member of a lower class. And as such, the lower classes must stick together in order to fight all sorts of oppression known as class oppression. This idea was brought forth by Karl Marx, and it is a Marxist interpretation of Doctorow's novel that I feel best represents the main theme of the novel. Because a Marxist analysis of Radicalized reveals far more than a light cover to cover reading of the book, because it requires one to look deep at what exactly causes the characters to act and what exactly is holding them back from performing the actions they would like to do, the actions that would make it so that they will stop being oppressed, the actions that would drastically increase their quality of life. It is here that I must talk about the Marxist concept of a revolution, because in modern media, revolution refers to a violent overthrowing, probably requiring weaponry of some sort, probably being bloody. Yet the Marxist concept of a revolution was simply a shifting of the power dynamic between the working class, the lower class, and the upper classes, those who do not have to work for a living, and those who control the vast majority of the wealth in the world. Yet Doctorow's novel reveals a different kind of revolution, one that is already ongoing and will be ongoing for a very long time. For this type of revolution does not even need to be noticed. It is the type of revolution that requires small actions by individual members who collectively have the power to change the way that the lower classes in society are treated as a whole. Within his novel, he clearly outlines the various risks of taking action that are far too hasty, the risks that Salama, an unauthorized bred, is able to barely scrape by avoiding, the risks that the American eagle in model minority must bear the full brunt of because his actions were too hasty. Given that the actions taken must be small and unnoticeable to avoid risk, it then goes that there must be a large amount of people participating within these actions, and that is also highlighted in Doctorow's novel when he reveals the allies that helped Salama to avoid being evicted and the allies that made it so that the actions of the American eagle were not as harshly punished as they could have been. Finally, he details the need to focus on our priorities, to not let allies go because they have not been ideologically consistent for the longest time, to not actively tear apart the revolution that could have been just because you want your struggles to be prioritized over the struggles of others, for we do not truly understand experiences we have not lived through ourselves. And finally, to prioritize the things that we need most, which are our material needs. By performing this Marxist analysis of Radicalized, it becomes clear what necessarily Doctorow was trying to promote by writing his book, which is that change need not happen quickly, for hasty action causes mistakes, causes harm to the revolution, causes harm to the people you are trying to benefit. Instead, it is best to stay calm and silently fight the oppression you are receiving, silently help people who are receiving oppression, and together change the way society views oppression and change the way that power is held, slowly but surely.